fan ska störa? Hi, my name is Andrew, and yesterday I fell and broke my collarbone. That's why I'm only using one arm right now. But anyhow, I thought this might be a great opportunity to answer your questions that you asked me on Instagram. Yeah, let's do it. First question is, where in Sweden do you live and what do you do for a living? I live in Sälen in Sweden. It's a ski resort. What I do for a living here is that I work as a dog sledding guide. So we have tourists who come with us up on the mountain and we guide them with the sleds. Woo! Next question is, do you ever ride a longboard? I don't own a longboard, so no, I don't. I don't see why I would. If maybe I were to ride the really steep hills of the Alps, it would be sick if I could actually ride a longboard down there, like you see the professionals do. Do you ever get scared when going fast? No, I don't. Most of the time I stay within my comfort zone. Sometimes I don't. Shit happens and you break a bone. You have to live with that. But no, I do not get scared of going fast because I still stay within my limits. The next question is, what do you use to record your videos? I'm using a GoPro Fusion. I'm gonna show you. Okay, so this is a GoPro Fusion. It's a 360 camera. If I can open it. So it's a camera that has two lenses. It's one on the front and one on the back. And each camera captures 180 degrees of footage. And when they stitch together, you have the whole view, all of it. So you can choose and pose what you want to use in the actual video. And a lot of people ask, why can't you see the stick? And that's because there's a blind spot right under the camera. If this is a stick and the camera is attached like so, it must be straight above the stick. If it's pointed like this, then you're gonna see the stick. Or if it's pointed the other way, you can also see the stick. And it's a really cool effect if you're out filming alone. So next question is, do you do any parkour? And no, except when I fall off my skateboard, and I usually manage to do some rolling on the ground and I'm all good. It's this time I didn't do so and I broke my collarbone. But no, I don't do any parkour. Do you like snowboarding more than skateboard? It totally depends on how your body feels. Both of the activities have some very nice things that the other one doesn't. So with the skateboarding, you can just get your skate and you just go out the door and you're good. You can go wherever you want. Well, of course, it would be nice if you have a skate park or anything, but you can skate anywhere. And I really like to, find a nice location. When I didn't live in Sweden, I like to skate along the beach during the sunset, and that's really nice. It's much better feeling to snowboard, especially powder. It's amazing. If you haven't done it, it's out of this world how fun it is. But that's the downside with snowboarding. You need all the gear, you need a ski pass, and you need to live close to a mountain so you can actually snowboard. But if you have those three things, then you're good, and you can enjoy the life of a snowboarder. Another question is, how often do you train per day and how old were you when you started? So I'm not sure if you're talking about exercising or do you mean skateboarding, but I'll answer them both. So I started skateboarding when I was, I think, 13, but I had my ups and downs. So some years I didn't skate at all and some years I skated a lot. But I've had a lot of injuries, so it's been a lot of up and downs with the skateboarding. And if you mean exercising, right now I can't do so much. If I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine and my body feels strong, and then I like to work out maybe 4 or 5 times a week. That's when I feel the best, when I work out so much. How to snowboard? What does a beginner need to know? Just keep trying. It's gonna be really hard in the beginning, especially if you have no experience on snow before. And especially snowboarding as well. It's really a weird feeling going sideways and you have the edges. If you haven't been doing any physical activities before and you want to start snowboarding, I would recommend wearing wrist protection and a helmet, of course. So yeah, just keep trying and don't give up. Tell me something about yourself. All of you who started following me the last 3 months, I think it's 25,000 of you, and that's insane. And you probably see me as this really active guy, and I'm doing things all the time, but it's not been like that my whole life. There was a time when I was sitting in front of a computer 10 hours a day for a whole summer, just playing all kinds of games where you have to stay focused and stay in the game. So as much as I appreciate the period of me playing computer games and video games, but if I could talk to myself, maybe 15 years ago, I would say quit playing games and do the things outside that you love. Yeah, don't spend so much time at the computer. Alright, so next question is, where can I snowboard with dogs? You probably see me snowboarding with some huskies here in Sälen. It's a company that I work for, so it's not my dogs. I'm allowed to train them and enjoy snowboarding with them on the mountain. So to answer your question, as long as there's snow and you have dogs and you can snowboard, then you can go anywhere you want. So next question is, can you kickflip? And it's quite funny because the last couple of months, a lot of people have seen my videos. I think it's up to 15 million at this point, all over socials. And people have been asking me, can you do any tricks? You're just cruising, man. What's so special about you? Yes, I can kickflip, but I don't do tricks anymore. I like to ride a mini ramp or a nice skate bowl, but only to cruise and do some basic tricks on the coping. That's what I enjoy the most. My knees hurt if I do kickflips. So what happened to my finger? When I was 9 or 10, I was driving a motocross, and I had been doing so for a couple of summers. It was a Sunday, I think, and we had our little group of youngsters who practice driving a motocross, and each Sunday we have a different task to learn. The jumping, but this specific day we were riding in the forest. So it was a really beautiful track around the forest, and I remember it was autumn. You could see the fog and the leaves had fallen on the ground. It was all kinds of colors, red, yellow, orange, and the sun came through the trees. It was really beautiful. Anyhow, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the 5th lap, my back wheel hit a rock, which made my back wheel jump to the side. And when you're 9 and you're driving a motocross, it's a lot of power. So when that happened, I just fell off, but I still held on to the handle, and which made me go full speed. And I drove straight into a tree, and it was this hand. So the front brake is on the right side, and that's where the tree hit. So I managed to release all my fingers except the ring finger. So the front brake actually ripped off half of the finger. Only the flesh, the bone was still there. So half the finger was ripped off, and I remember after I fell off, I put my hands to the ground and I stood up, and it was like I couldn't see anything because the goggles had a fog on them. But then I remember lifting up my right hand, and I see my glove and my finger hanging, and I started crying. It was awful. So I started screaming and crying, and the rest of the group were waiting away over there, and the leader came and he helped me get to the hospital with my dad. And there they stitched the finger back together, so I was actually awake while they sewed it back together on the bone. It was a really weird experience. That's what happened to my finger. Alright, so what is your daily routine? And if I have a perfect day, I'm gonna tell you. For example, yesterday before I broke my shoulder, I had such a good day. So I went up quite early, ate a really nice breakfast, I watched the sunrise, and then I went to the gym. I had a really nice workout session. I trained my legs, I did a bunch of squats and all that. Felt really good, really strong. And then I usually, right after the gym, I go up to the swimming pool and I do a couple of laps in the pool, and then after the pool I go up to the sauna for, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, and then I jump into the ice pool for 1 minute, and then I take a shower. And after that, yesterday I got home, ate lunch, and then I grabbed my skateboard and I went up on a mountain and I skated the wooden paths that you've been seeing on my Instagram. And then I hiked the mountain and I listened to a podcast. I think I was up for 4 hours. It was really beautiful and the weather was nice. Yeah, and then I broke my collarbone. But during the winter, it's pretty much the same. Just that I work with dog sledding as well. And if I'm not dog sledding, I'm usually out in the slopes snowboarding. And then with the workout and the sauna and all that. So it's the same thing. It's a really good routine. Another person asks, do you build these? And I assume you mean the wooden paths. And no, I do not build them. I'm only skating on them. What is the hardest part of skating these long trails that are really thin? So of course you don't want to get your wheel off the edge, because then you go to an instant stop and you fall, and if you're not ready you might hurt yourself like I did. Also because it's not a flat surface, it's 3 planks, and there could be some height difference on them, so your wheels could get stuck on sharp edge and throw you to the side. But now I've been skating on them so much, I know how to avoid that. So I don't turn with my weight, I usually lift the front wheel, and that makes it not as easy to get stuck. I think I answered most of your questions now, and I'm gonna edit this with my left hand, so hopefully you'll still find it interesting to watch. I'll probably make more of these, so if you have any questions, now that I'm hurt and I'm gonna be sitting inside all day and do some rehab, it would be nice to maybe answer more questions, maybe go in more depth of the questions. Like I said, if you have any more questions, just ask me in the comments or DM me on Instagram at 80s Disney Prince, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.